Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, but if I had to pick my favorite of these Universal Monster Abbott Costello horror movie parody comedy crossover things, I think it's clear which one's the actual best one. Yeah, I will gladly die on this hill. This movie is one of the most entertaining, hilarious, fun movies that I have ever watched. To the point where I'd actually put it in my top 5 of the entire Universal Monster saga. Yes, I absolutely kid you not, I would put it high up there. This movie's just so much fun. It's fun, it's goofy, it's campy, and it's so damn funny. Like, I have so much to say about it, and unfortunately we have no production on this one, unlike with the last one, so that's unfortunate. But I'm still going to do my best to talk about this movie for at least 20 plus minutes, because this is a movie that's so great that deserves a really long review. So, what's up? What's happening? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Animation Station. You know I'm supposed to for anything and everything, including TV, movies, and especially monster films. I am your host and monster fan, Jackson Small. Welcome back to 31 Days of Horror, Monster-Mania. Welcome to the comedic horror masterpiece that is Abbott and Costello meets The Invisible Man. This movie's so much fun. Like, it is so much fun. I'm not sure if any word that comes out of my mouth is going to do it justice, but this movie's so much fun. So, I think the best way to start this review is to read off the little synopsis on the back of my VHS tape here. Abbott and Costello portray private detectives in this fast-paced comic thriller. Recent detective school graduates Bud and Lou are minding their new business when accused killer Tommy Nelson, played by Arthur Franz, bursts into their office. Proclaiming his innocence, he convinces the two to get him to his beautiful fiancée, played by Nancy Gill. Just as the police arrive to investigate, Tommy injects himself with an invisibility serum being developed by Helen's uncle. Nelson convinces Lou to go undercover as a boxer to help flesh out the real killer. With Nelson's unseen assistance, Costello reluctantly goes into the ring as Lou the Lupa for one of the most hilarious fight scenes ever filmed. And that's pretty much the synopsis. Like, that's the plot. They're graduated detectives. They're trying to help out this guy. This guy ends up taking the invisibility potion to get the police off of him. And then Lou ends up going undercover as a boxer. And he doesn't know how to box at all. But thankfully, Tommy is there. And he fights for him. So he's doing all these goofy things that he shouldn't be able to do, but since Tommy is there, and Tommy even gets in the ring with him to fight this guy. So you literally have him, you have Lou doing his usual comedic slapstick, while Tommy Nelson gets to beat the ever-living hell out of his opponent. Like, it's so funny, dude. Like, I literally cannot put it into words. It is so funny. It is one of the funniest fight scenes and funniest comedic scenes ever put on film. But okay. I'll still do my best to do it justice, regardless of what words come out of my mouth. So, let's get straight into the full plot now. Full spoilers, because this is a movie so good that it deserves it. It deserves a full deep dive. So, here we go. Let's talk about it. Lou Francis and Bud Alexander have just graduated from a private detective school. Tommy Nelson, a middleweight boxer, comes to them with their first case. Tommy recently escaped from jail after being accused of murdering his manager, and asks the duo to accompany him on a visit to his fiancée, Helen Gray. He wants her uncle, Dr. Philip Gray, to inject him with a special serum that will render Tommy invisible, and hopes to use the newfound invisibility to investigate his manager's murder and prove his innocence. Dr. Gray adamantly refuses, arguing that the serum is unstable, recalling that the formula's discoverer, Jack Griffin, the one and only reference we get to the original Invisible Man in this movie, was driven insane by the formula and did not become visible again until after his death. However, as the police arrive, Tommy injects himself with it and successfully becomes invisible. Detective Roberts questions Dr. Gray and Helen while Bud and Lou search for Tommy. Helen and Tommy convince Bud and Lou to help them seek the real killer, after Tommy explains that the motive for the murder occurred after he refused to throw a fight, knocking his opponent Rocky Hanlon out of the ring. Morgan, the promoter who fixed the fight, ordered Tommy's manager beaten to death while framing Tommy for the crime. In order to investigate undercover, Lou poses as a boxer with Bud as his manager. They go to Stillwell's gym, where Lou gets in the ring with Rocky. Tommy, still invisible, gets in the ring with them and again knocks out Hamlin, making it look like Lou did it, even though Lou was pretty much just giving defensive maneuvers the whole time, and it was literally like no one was hitting him at all. An official match is arranged. Needing to prove Morgan was behind the plot to frame Tommy, Bud and Lou go out to the same restaurant to covertly spy on him alongside an invisible Tommy. And Tommy also gets some really funny moments of invisibility where he's messing with Lou's hat and just messing with Abbot and Costello in the way that you want him to. It's really funny. Sorry, I lost my spot for a second. But the effects of the serum and Tommy getting drunk make the task difficult for the two who have been covering for him. Morgan pays off Lou to throw the fight, but when the match occurs with the aid of an invisible Tommy, Hamlin's knocked out yet again after a wildly chaotic boxing match. I know, I've emphasized it a lot in this review, but oh my goodness, the boxing scene in this movie is one of the funniest things that you will ever watch. It is pure comedic gold. Like, it is so funny. Morgan plans Bud's murder, and is then thwarted by Tommy. Bud, Lou, and Tommy fight off Morgan and his goons, but when Tommy is rendered partially visible from some steam, he's wounded in the battle and begins to bleed out. The protagonists rush to the hospital where a blood transfusion is arranged between Lou and Tommy, thanks to Lou having the same blood type. During the transfusion, Tommy becomes visible again. Some of Tommy's blood has apparently entered Lou, who briefly turns invisible, only to reappear with his legs inexplicably on backwards. That is probably the funniest way that you could have ended it. Like, it's so funny. It is so funny. And then all the acting in this movie, just like with Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, is also really good. Again, it's cheesy, but it's a movie that knows it's cheesy, so you can buy into it. Bud is great, Costello is great. I'd honestly argue that this is Costello's movie more than Abbott's. Like, he's so good in this movie. Arthur Franz as Tommy Nelson / The Invisible Man is really, really good. I said in the previous review how I was sad that Vincent Price didn't get to reprise his role after cameoing at the end of that last movie as the Invisible Man. But Arthur does such a good job that I'm able to forgive it. Nancy Guild as Helen is really good. Adele Jurgens as Boots Martin is really good. Sheldon Leonard as Morgan is pretty good. William Frawley as Detective Roberts is pretty funny. Gavin Muir as Dr. Philip Gray. He doesn't get a whole lot to do, but he's there and he's good. Sam Balter as the radio announcer is pretty good. John DeHime as Rocky Hanlon is very, very funny. And finally, Paul Maxey as Dr. James C. Turner. Doesn't get a lot to do, but he's also pretty good. And then Franz every now and then has a stand-in with James Best as Tommy Nelson for the scenes where he's actually physically on screen. You know, to match the physique. But unfortunately, that's all I can really say about it, because there's no background info on this one, and that absolutely hurts me after having so much interesting, fascinating background info for the last one, for Meets Frankenstein. But apparently this one was just not as well documented, and it's a huge shame because it is by far the better movie. So, I'll just go through some credentials then, and we'll go to final thoughts from there. It's directed by Charles Lamont, it's produced by Howard Christie, and music's by Eric Zeisel, however you pronounce that. Sorry, I'm an uncultured idiot. Editing by Virgil Vogel, produced by Universal, release date of March 19th of 1951, a runtime of 82 minutes. Very short movie. Releasing in the US, preferably mainly in English. Budget was $627,000, and it grossed over $1.5 million of that. So, they made it cheap, and they got a huge profit. And I'm glad it did, because this movie's so good it deserves it. If you want more praise to throw out this movie, go watch the Cinemassacre Monster Madness review on it. It's in the second sequel-a-thon when he reviews the Universal Invisible Man series. Alright, now for final thoughts. And I have quite a bit to say on this one. Ever since I watched this for the first time last year after finding the VHS tape in one of my many Goodwill hunts, I have been to Goodwill so many times, I've gotten so many VHS tapes. I would love to do a VHS collection video at some point, but it ain't gonna be right now. There's just too much going on. But yeah, I mean, I already knew about this movie and I knew about the boxing scene because of Monster Madness, but I still hadn't seen the full movie myself, and I was still really fascinated in it. Not to mention, these VHS tapes at Goodwill are dirt cheap. They're only 75 cents a piece. So, yeah, you can see how I amassed a big collection of them when they're that cheap. I just loved every single minute of it. The timing, the wordplay jokes, the slapstick, the situation, the writing, the acting, the overall humor, the characters, and especially that hilariously ingenious boxing scene all put the biggest smile on my face. Yes, part of me is still sad that the titular Invisible Man isn't voiced by Vincent Price like he was in the cameo at the end of the last one. But Arthur Franz does such a good job as Tommy Nilsson that I'm able to live with it. This is a simple comedy classic, and easily the best of the Invisible Man sequels. No offense to Revenge. Revenge was pretty good, but this blows it out of the water in every single capacity. Easily the best Invisible Man movie since the original Invisible Man. And yes, I will proudly and gladly die on that hill. Sure, it won't be for everyone. Again, like I said in the last review, these horror comedies are not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And if you end up not liking it, I can understand why, because it's very of its time. But for me personally, as someone who loves these vintage old movies, this is one of the best Universal monster movies, and one that I am going to try to make sure to rewatch at least once every single year, especially for spooky season. And I probably will get that rewatch in after this review, because, man, just talking about it just makes me want to watch it again. It's such a good movie. I gotta finish the review first. Final verdict for Abbot and Costello Meet the Invisible Man, an absolute comedy classic, is an 11 out of 10. It's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen, and it will always be a fun watch to me. And that's all I've got. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this almost every single day. Feel free to hit the hype button if you so desire to get this higher up in the algorithm. And of course, let me know your thoughts and opinions on today's review in the comments down below. And if you love this movie as much as I do, because I love this movie a lot, man. I don't really know what else there is to say. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's such a fun, hilarious movie. And now we should only have 4 Universal Monster films left, because I think there's only 29 of these. So, let me see, what's next? Yes, we finally get to the final classic Universal Monster. We've gone through Dracula, we've gone through Frankenstein, we've gone through The Mummy, we've gone through The Bride, we've gone through The Invisible Man, we've gone through The Wolfman. There's only one classic monster left. And it's one that I've been very fascinated to check out for a while now. Because while I have seen most of these Universal Monster films, these ones are going to be a first-time watch. And it's not that I had no interest in them or anything, it's simply because I didn't have time. Almost every year, I only have time to watch specific certain ones, and of course, I always watch the classics. I watch the original stuff, the classic Golden Age stuff. So, I'll see you guys next time for my first time watch review of Creature from the Black Lagoon.